G'day, my name's Chris. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about our disc stacks. They're disc pants manufactured specifically for disc golf. They basically have four-way stretch, water repellent material. They have a towel attachment pocket in the front side of each pair of pants. They have zip back pockets. They have enough belt loops to tie you up, and you've got reflectors. So for those of you riding to the course on your bike, you'll be safe in the dude pants. We're predicting these pants are going to become legendary. Get yourself some.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the second round of the Waco Annual Charity Open. We're here with your leader card today, which has Big Germ sitting at 13 under par. Joining him on the card is Ricky Wysocki, along with David Fehlberg, and the fourth competitor, who's not even near the tee. Where did he go? James Conrad. I couldn't see him. There he is, James Conrad, representing Virginia. We're here for day two. Let's get right to the action.
Everybody, welcome to our lead card coverage for the second round of the 2017 Waco Annual Charity Open presented by Dynamic Discs. I'd like to thank all of our spectators for coming out today and coming to watch this. You're going to see some incredible shots out there. We've got some cards we're handing out. We're doing raffles, and we're doing giveaways for all of you. So if you haven't got a card, come and see me and I can get one for you. I'd like to ask that everybody be respectful of the players today. They're happy to give autographs after the round. You can talk to them after the round. They're going to be doing a lot of concentration for this very difficult course. And so, we're ready for Jeremy Coling, sponsored by Innova Champion Discs. World Champion, sponsored by Latitude 64, Ricky Wysocki.
Yeah. Big Germ's tee shot is short. Ricky Wysocki to tee second here. And James Conrad trickles left, and OB getting the red flag. Fourth to tee, our 2008 world champion, David Fehlberg. Earlier today, the women were here starting out their round. We're going to give you action as we move forward. Let's check out the women's leader card from earlier this morning. Nice shot. Woo! Big Germ taking a little extra time here on his first putt of the day, which was just straddling the 10-meter line. Great putt to start. James Conrad's looking to save his par. He'll take his 1-meter relief. He is out of bounds. He's got a short downhill putt for the par. Conrad saves the par. Ricky Wysocki literally just 2 feet away. Dave Felberg approximately 4 feet. Easy starts here on hole number 1. We see 3 birdies and a par. Brief walk over to hole 2. We'll be back in a moment. And here on this 616-foot hole number 8, Big Germ goes right up the middle. And Ricky comes just inside one of the trees on the right center side of the fairway. Great shot by Wysocki here off the tee. And Felberg, third to throw, goes outside of the tree that Ricky was previously flirting with. A great shot here by Conrad. 4 clean shots off the tee. Let's see what the women did earlier here on hole number 8. And Felberg's approach is short and left. James Conrad will be next to throw. Waisaki deciding which road he's going to take here for his approach shot. Approximately inside 150 feet, maybe 175 at most. And we saw the wind push it up and down. He comes up short. He's inside the circle, looking at just less than 25 feet. Cooling's got options as well. Looks like he's opting for a forehand. And a gentle forehand with what I believe is a Firebird puts him just past the basket. And Conrad's attempt from 45 is short and left. And out of his hand, Big Germ knew there was a misfire. Catches the left side basket. And a push of wind, even though it's coming from left to right. And Waisaki has a headwind putt, does not get it up over the edge of the basket, and we're going to see some tap-ins for what will be par fours by all four competitors, letting one slip by here. This is a great birdie opportunity for these long throwers. However, the wind affecting him here early on. Big Germ is in, and Felberg will do the same. We'll be back with you in a few moments from the third hole right here at the Waco Annual Charity Open. Johnny, you were absolutely not clear where you were on right there. You have no idea. Well, Chad needs to get to the next hole, too. Okay. That was our third hole. Let's move into the woods for hole number 10.
Flashlight LED disc golf discs just changed the game. The unique Disco Select feature allows everyone to choose their own color by simply pressing the middle button, then pressing it again during the first rotation of colors when the one you want appears. Or you can leave it in disco mode, rotating through the 6 different colors for the duration of your game. Designed by serious professionals, crafted from Night Eye's unrivaled sure grip material, and featuring Night Eye's patented fiber optics array, these discs strike the perfect balance of durability, stability, performance, and just plain awesomeness. With easily replaceable batteries and an uber-long life, the Flashlight driver, mid-range, and putter will shine as they blaze your path to victory, day or night. Night Eyes. Discover your solution.
Big germ with a beautiful turn on that. Looks like it's finishing toward the right. The forehand turnover shot. And fighting through the right side is Waisaki's backhand drive. And puring the fairway here is James Conrad. Gets an applause, as he should, here on this 441-foot par 4. And also on the right side here, we're going to move down the fairway. Let's see what the women did here on hole 10 earlier today. Dave Felberg throws from the right side of the fairway to the left side, going with a patent pending stance, and finds just more shrubs on the left side. He's going to be hoping for a par here. Ricky Wysocki is going to assess all options here. He's going to look at the high route as well as from one knee. I'd like to welcome back to the broadcast. Correction. Ricky does have an option. Again, as I was saying, I'd like to welcome back to the broadcast Cameron Frymark. And Cameron, doing some MC duties, regular tournament duties again. Everybody said they loved you yesterday, so thanks for joining us and calling the shots.
Oh, fantastic. I'm glad to be here again, Terry. Thanks for having me, and hello, viewers.
And as we said, Ricky's got some options here. Let's going to see. It's a very awkward stance. Goes with an up and over. That may take someone's head off it when it comes down. And it looks like it'll work. Cameron, we're moving down the fairway here. We're on hole number 10, which is the fourth hole of the round. And it looks like so far, so good. The flow has been all right. They had a few extra moments before tee off. And if they keep it in the fairway, things will keep moving along nicely.
Yeah, I imagine this round will go a little bit quicker, and the backups will be a little bit less because some of those slower cards yesterday have filtered to the bottom. So we should be moving pretty well today.
And James hugging the left side of the fairway. He'll still be up there looking at a putt. Solid drive by him puts him right into the middle to left side of this fairway, and that's really where you want to be. The other three competitors off on the edges, and you talked about it yesterday that anytime you're off on the rough here, it may cost you a stroke or two.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes even just 1 foot in can be a toss out from there. It can really limit your stance or your ability to throw.
A very outstretched Big Germ looking at what low line he's going to have to take here to get to the pin. Fighting through a little cabbage, but a kick back out. He'll have a putt from there.
Yeah, it looks like he's just in between the two circles, so he'll have a good look at a birdie 3 from there.
A little traffic directing going on as to where possibly Dave Felberg's lie has gone off into the left. Is there a sidewalk over there that it looks like he may have gone past, maybe even an OB?
There is. It looks like he's inbounds. Often that sidewalk doesn't come into play because of how thick the woods are to get to the sidewalk, but it looks like he's safe.
Felberg going up and over. And gets a forward roll. He's got to hope that stays out, and it does. He'll have a long putt from there to save his 4. And Ricky's second shot has landed him still inside the rough on this right-hand side. He's at least 10 to 12 feet behind the circle 2 flags. Big Germ corrects me and says 15. Wasn't sure he knew numbers that high. Okay. And a good skip up and a roll. That'll work.
Yeah, walking away with a par on this hole is totally fine. It's so easy to get off the fairway and take a 5 or a 6 on this hole, and he did that very well.
Dave Felberg is looking at a approximately a 48, maybe 50 footer here. And Big Germ is left and short as this hole's taking a bite out of everyone, not giving up the easy birdies, or any birdies for that matter, easy or otherwise. Very congested as we move toward the river's edge. And Big Germ is in. Ricky Wysocki looking to put in from 10 feet, walk away with his par. So the first woods hole takes a little bite out of Dave Felberg. We're going to move on. We have a short par 3 coming up next. You're watching the Waco Annual Charity Open right here with the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Good, Johnny?
Not getting quite enough turn on that, but he's still down the hill for a putt. Looks like probably just outside the circle. And if that fades a little, he might have a look at the basket. And he's well within the circle. Very nice shot.
And Wysocki with a little bit of turn on the overstable mid. Skips up. We'll have a look from there. Fourth to tee will be Dave Felberg. And Dave Felberg pulls that right. However, it filters through into the circle too. You'll have a long look from there. Let's see what the women did here on hole 11 earlier today. just off the top of the basket, a little uphill jump putt. Had to give it everything there.
Yeah, there are plenty of birdie opportunities on the par 4s and 5s, but you feel like on the shorter holes, it really disappoints you when you don't get that 2.
And speaking of 2s and birdies, earlier today we caught up with Nico LaCastro. He was tearing up the course. He had a very solid round out here. We saw him play his final hole, and then I caught up with him for an interview. We'll be able to catch up with him later in the round when we have maybe a little bit of a backup or delay. Again, Nico LaCastro coming back strong after yesterday's unfortunate car accident. Fist pump by Big Germ. He likes it. Gallery approves. James Conrad to putt from just outside the circle's edge, looking at 34 feet. And Conrad over the top of the basket. I'll correct myself and say that was all of 35.5 feet for those keeping track at home, but not any metal there by Conrad. Very uncharacteristic. And Conrad converts. Ricky left with less than 15 feet. And Dave Felberg will tap in. We'll be back in a moment after a word from our sponsors. Big Germ catches a tree on the left side. Waisaki's forehand is coming in nicely. Hits a tree, but does kick down and right toward the pin inside the circle. Smooth backhand here by Conrad, filtering down and toward the pin. And Felberg also left side fairway. We'll have a short walk to Big Germ, and Dave Felberg will be back in a moment. And Big Germ, who's on the right side of the fairway here, assessing his lie. Again, another one of these par threes that might be slipping by some of our top players.
Yeah, there are a couple of local routes from where he's at to get there, but they're not easy, and a few trees here and there. And he pured it. That's going to be an easy 3 from there, but he's going to wish he had that 2 back.
And Dave Felberg, a mere 20 feet in front of where Big Germ just was. He'll have a similar line. And a simple approach by Felberg puts him 5 feet away. And Rick had to maintain balance there. Certainly in, but he had to maintain his balance there. It looked like he was falling slightly left. And Big Germ will save the 3. James Conrad will tap in for the easy birdie. And Dave Felberg will put in for the par. We'll be back with you guys in a few moments after a word from our sponsors. And welcome back, everyone. Cameron, we've seen the first few holes, little up, little down, some tough play taking place in the first few holes, especially the wooded section.
Yeah, even the shorter holes, we saw it split 2 pars and 2 birdies on the last 2 holes, and so even the short ones are not easy on the beast, and it's got some teeth on it.
Well, we've got a little bit of a backup, but as I mentioned earlier, we've got Nico LeCastro as he finished out his final hole of the round, and I caught up with him for an interview. Let's check in with Nico LeCastro right now. And welcome, everyone. We have caught up with Nico LeCastro's group, which was the first open card to tee off on the day. Nico LeCastro has been killing it this round as we're watching a shot going out and over the water. It looks like it's gonna clear, and it does. Nico LeCastro a few moments ago was 14 under par. However, he took a triple bogey 7 on hole number 17. That pushed him to 11 under par. We'll follow out his shots here as he completes the last hole of the day. As many of you know, he suffered a car accident yesterday. He seems to be all right, and his game is proving just that. Again, 11 under par through 17 holes with a triple bogey 7 on the previous hole. Nico will be the last to tee on the group. I'll be interested to see if he goes for this. I'm guessing he is. This is Nico LaCastro, 492 feet, hole 18. And the wind calms ever so slightly. That's got too much turn. It's turning hard. We'll see if it comes up short. And it does. It's short of the quinoa OB. We'll be with his approach in just a moment. Welcome back. We are here for Nico LaCastro's approach shot on the 18th hole of the day. Again, 492 feet. He's got a relatively short approach. He's got it up and hits the basket. Nico LaCastro trying to finish with another eagle. He's got 2 on the day. He's left himself 18 feet. We'll catch up with him in a moment to see if he can finish off this round for the story. That's Nico LaCastro. And Nico LaCastro with approximately 15 feet here to finish off this round. And LaCastro with the 1 blemish. We'll catch up with him in a few moments, but 1 single blemish out here on hole number 17 today. What a day it's been. What a weekend it's been for LaCastro. Smiling as he moves off 18. We'll be back with you in a moment when we catch up with Nico LaCastro. And welcome back. I am joined by Nico LaCastro. And Nico, I said it just a moment ago, 1 single blemish out here. Hell of a round, though.
I was putting it together, you know. I started off better than taking 7s and 8s on my first 4 holes, so that's always nice to not take 7s and 8s when you start the tournament.
Yeah, so first of all, we're glad to hear that you're safe, that you came out okay. Any details you want to share with the world? We saw, obviously, the accident. We heard about it, but...
Well, honestly, it just gave me more appreciation for the life that I'm living, you know. You never know what could happen all of a sudden. You know, we were only 3 or 4 feet away from one of us getting hurt, either me or my friend Nick that I'm traveling with right now. So, you know, it really made me appreciate what's happening in my life. So last night I went on a 10-mile run with Nick. He's keeping me motivated out here, and I felt really good coming into the round. You know, we've been doing putting games at night, and I'm just trying to get my game all the way to get together. You know, you got to play all 18 holes, and I was close to putting together a really solid round. And you know, I still want to get in the cash, and I want to do my best, no matter what happens on the first day or no matter what happens on the 17th hole. You know, I'm still going to do my best. I'm lucky I got that 3 on the last. So I tried to get the 2.
You did.
I was
we
running
were there
it.
for
I was
you.
running. I was going for every shot. Today I hit some really nice putts. Of course, I missed a couple, but overall, I feel good about the second day of the tournament, especially. What did I jump? What did I do? Like jump 35 spots today, or you know, maybe 20 strokes better,
Yep.
15, 20 strokes better. So hopefully, I can shoot my best round tomorrow. You know, I think I could do a little bit better than I did today, but I'm feeling good. I'm going to go on another run and stay focused and stay motivated.
Well, you got about 9.5 miles more in than I did last night, so you keep at that. So tomorrow you're going to come out here. It's going to be the final day. Put it all out on the table.
That's
aggressive.
Right. That's right.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah, just try to make every shot and make every putt and don't look back.
All right. Well, nobody likes to see someone start 16 over yesterday, but when you came in, you started birdieing right off the bat. You literally jumped on the first hole of the day, 2 birdies back to back, and then you just went on a tear for the rest of that. It continued into today, and we look forward to more of that tomorrow.
Yeah, I did all right. We have a few more tournaments in Texas on this leg of the tour, so I'd like to win, 1, 2, maybe the rest of them if I continue the motivation and keep running and, work hard for the dreams that I believe in. So I got a lot of work to do, but I'm going to pick up the pace, and I'm going to get rolling.
All right. Great looking hat every weekend. This is Nico LaCastro shooting well when he's here for all the holes. We're looking forward to a strong finish on Saturday afternoon.
Thanks for watching Smashbox, and thanks for the interview, Terry.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
And welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed our catch-up with Nico LaCastro. Again, quite the battling warrior here this weekend. Glad to see that he's okay, and clearly his golf game is on point. Cameron, we're watching Ricky Wysocki throw his tee shot, and that's about as good of a kick as you could ask for on this hole.
Yeah, really, if you can get out into the field at all, you're just fine. I like this hole a lot because it's one of the less difficult holes to eagle, and these guys can all reach it. But anywhere out in the middle, he's still going to have a look at a birdie. Even still a good kick out to the open field. He'll be fine.
A very unique hole in that you play through a tunnel out into this open area, and then there is a small ravine of sorts that players go over before getting to the basket finally, 460 feet later.
Yeah, you can really attack it with kind of what Germ just did. A turnover flick shot can get all the way there, or a hyzer flip with a backhand. Both of them are capable of getting down to that ravine and look at a putt. And Germ got near the road. He's going to have an interesting upshot from there.
Big Germ asking, well, really us, the camera crew down here, as to if he was in bounds or not. I gave him the safe indication. And Felberg throwing a perfect shot. Felberg has expressed a little bit of frustration here. There is a very large gallery, and kind of one of those double-edged swords. Hey, we've got galleries, we've got spectators. People are here watching, but we got to kind of fit through these tight corridors at the same time.
Yeah, I just had a talk with them, and we made a plan to keep them out of the fairways on some of our longer holes and keep them off the tee boxes to keep our round stress-free for our pros.
We're doing the best we can here with the crowd and gallery control. Again, glad you're tuned in here today. You're watching the Waco Annual Charity Open presented by Dynamic Disc. Cameron Frymark on the mic along with Terry Miller, the disc golf guy. Thanks to Johnny V and Gary O back at the controls. Rick and Chad on the cameras. And we're here for a gorgeous day in Waco, Texas. Feels as if it's heating up. The clouds were abundant earlier, giving a little bit of a gray sky, but now the sun is out. I'm regretting not knowing where I left my sunscreen.
Yeah, this is pretty typical weather that you will start off in the morning with it cold and a little bit overcast. It rained a little bit, and now it's back to 70 and sunny, and it feels fantastic.
James Conrad going right up the gut. We talked about an eagle earlier that's long. He'll have a death putt coming back at the basket, but that was a great line and right on point.
Yeah, stayed a little high, but he kept it below the ceiling in there, and he just buzzed that basket.
And I think Ricky Wysocki's directing us to step aside or make sure that we're out of his line, and we'll do just that. Ricky lining up a forehand approach here. Should be a standstill, and he's even going to one knee for it. Correction. And the powerful forehand coming through and gets caught up by a single hanging branch. I'm not sure I even saw that.
I'm not sure if it kicked back or not, but there is some casual water down there that it looks like he might have found himself in.
You mentioned that Big Germ may have a very interesting approach here, and I'm guessing you're really just talking about the angle in which he's trying to get to the basket.
That's absolutely correct. The rough comes off a little bit from the basket there, and it can create a difficult angle if you're anywhere in that ditch or anywhere to the left side, a little bit in front of where he's at. Looks like he might have to do a pretty extreme angle turnover shot with the flick. holds pretty nicely, and he's up on the hill for a birdie putt. Very nice.
And Dave Feldberg with the best drive in the group. And Feldberg with an unforced error there, just really letting up too much and not putting the right angle on it.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he didn't give that at least a soft run. Again, with the slope on this basket and the dirt behind it, really catches this well, and he's level with it. I really am surprised he didn't go at that a little more.
We'll be moving down the ravine, low-lying area here. Let's navigate through here to get back up to the pin, which is perched on this hillside. We talked about it yesterday, that if you draw metal or you come down at an awkward angle, there's a good chance this thing could get up and roll. Ricky is sitting right on the 10-meter circle. And Ricky's hits the top of the basket. It comes back and it rolls. However, it does sit down within 20 feet, but that was dangerous. That could have rolled right past him.
Yeah, luckily he's got those ties there as opposed to just dirt, because that could have come all the way down. But he's that's well within his range. He ought to be fine on that and take his par. And the definition of a death putt as James Conrad is looking straight downhill, but nothing but chains. And Dave's in for birdie?
Very much so. Birdie for Dave Feldberg, again, showing a little bit of frustration out here today. A very active gallery, lots of people enjoying the action, but very tight corridors to be in. Big Germ is in for the birdie. Waisaki's got an uphill putt for par. And Waisaki is in. We'll be back in a few moments on the next hole. Stay tuned. You're watching Live Disc Golf right here with the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
stay at the Red Roof Inn.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here with Big Germ making demands. James Conrad on the tee.
Yeah, it looked like he hugged that left side. It's not terrible in there. I think he's going to be okay, but he's going to wish he had this two back.
Big Germ asking for the backdoor route. Not sure that it got all the way through for him.
And Feldberg is going to find himself down the hill. It's kind of on the edge of 15's fairway. He'll still be able to get up and down from there, but there goes another two.
And Ricky's trying to ring it up. He's coming straight at the pin, just past, here on this 213-footer. We'll be back in a moment after we see the women play hole 14. Feldberg from the right side rough does not get out cleanly. He's still got a lot of work to do. James Conrad is on the left side, approximately 6 to 10 feet behind the circle 2 marker. And a long lunging putt by James Conrad. He'll be short and left. We mentioned it yesterday. This is the shortest hole in the tournament. And yesterday it was played in +1. Today it may be the same or even worse.
Yeah, you'd think that Joey might have teased people with a short hole before that next monster par 5, but this one has just as much teeth as any other hole in this course.
And Feldberg gives it a run from approximately 45, close to 50 feet. He's going to move off here with a bogey 4. Big Germ is about 10, maybe 12 feet behind the circle 1 indicator. That gives him 42, maybe 45 feet at most. He's looking at a death putt straight down the hill. I think he's going to lay this up. What kind of move is that?
It's okay. There are some trees behind it that kind of catch it, and you do have the ability to run it, but it also is hairy down there, so that was, I guess, a smart play.
Big Germ, who obviously opened with the lead here yesterday. Smart play going with the layup Ricky Wysocki is the only competitor left with a birdie opportunity. I'm also going to check in with Madison Walker, who's out here taking in the action. And Madison, tell me, after Big Germ's putt, how your day went. And Ricky Wysocki's in for birdie. Thanks for clarifying there. How'd your day go out here today?
It went a lot better than yesterday. I improved by 7 strokes, so way better.
We'll catch up with you more as we move into the next hole, which is a par 5 and a backup. See, you're out here enjoying the weather. Looks to be a gorgeous day. All right, we'll be back with you guys in a few moments after a word from our sponsors on the first par 5. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm joined by Cool Daddy Slick Breeze of Dynamic Disc. And Cool Daddy, don't you have like a podcast or some editing to be doing right now? What are you doing out here?
I'm filming, so I got to get some footage and stuff like that for the podcast and stuff like that. So yeah, the content just doesn't create itself, so I got to go out there and get the filming of it done.
So you have to actually work, because I just wing it.
Yeah, I noticed that. You're just having a good time out there.
Well, we're here. We're on a backup. This is a par 5 out at this course, the Beast course. You're a few hours north of here. How often do you get down to this side of the country and take in the action?
Actually, this is my first time coming to this course, and I got to admit, now I know why they call it the Beast. If you're having an off day and you're playing these wooded holes, you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it dearly. So yeah, I can see why people really love having both the wooded and the open fairways and stuff like that, but I can see why it's called the Beast.
Well, it's incredible. The shortest hole on the course is the one that they just played. Yesterday, we had 3 pars and a bogey. Today, 2 pars, 1 bogey, and 1 birdie. So we've watched 8 people play it, and they still are playing it 1 over par, and it's 213 feet. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just intimidating, especially, I mean, the sun's kind of peeking out. It's getting a little, I've even heard some people say it's getting warm, so that's kind of playing into it. It's the second day of play. I'm sure people are trying to make the moves that they didn't get to make yesterday, so I'm sure it's weighing on their minds as they're playing these courses.
So Dynamic Disc, of course, the title sponsor here of this event. You guys have supported the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and you're so active and pretty much kicking ass, I'll say, in the disc golf community. You guys are doing amazing things. A lot of the work you're doing along with everyone else at DD. Talk about what a big event like this means to Dynamic Disc as you guys support it and embrace it.
Well, you know, if you know Dynamic Discs, you know that we just want the sport to grow. We want people to find out about disc golf. We want them to fall in love with it just like we do. So to support something that Steve Dodge is doing with the Disc Golf Pro Tour, it just makes sense because he's got a vision. We agree with his vision, and we want to make sure that it goes as far as it can go.
A lot of people are asking, where's the world champ? Where's EMAC? I mean, not too far away. We're kind of surprised we're not seeing EMAC. Is he busy doing other things?
You know what? Eric McCabe is probably one of the biggest and best disc golf ambassadors I know. I'm sure right now he's wishing he could be here, but he has some other goals in mind. He wants to design courses. He's played, I don't know how many courses, how many tournaments, and he has the knowledge to take and create great courses, which he's done already. People love the courses in Emporia, but he wants to take that knowledge and be able to make some really great courses. So he's really hard at work doing that. In fact, I'm following him with the camera sometimes to kind of help produce shows to show that we're doing the course design stuff, but that's the stuff he really loves to do.
Well, we miss you, EMAC. We know you're a fierce competitor if you were here.
Yeah.
But it was also just announced that Kansas City is going to be hosting the Masters World Championships. I'm just saying I might be eligible next year. EMAC's going to be eligible.
Yes.
I don't know. Is there going to be a battle?
He posted on Facebook. He's like, looks like the Masters is going to be in my neck of the woods. So he's excited about that. I know for sure.
All right. Well, if you want to learn more about Dynamic Discs or the Glass Blown Open or events or anything to do with the great company you work with, where should they go and what should they do?
Obviously, just search everywhere, Dynamic Discs. We try to be active everywhere so we can reach out to as many people as possible. If you want to listen to an enjoyable podcast, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com.
Yeah, they
gotta slip that in there.
They have an enjoyable podcast, I've heard. They do a great job out there, and honestly, yes, go out and check out Disc Golf Answer Man. When can people expect to see a disc or listen to a Disc Golf Answer Man? What's your schedule?
We used to do it every Fridays, but now that the disc golf season's kind of kicked in gear, it's about probably Wednesdays. That way we can talk about tournament talk and stuff like that. So look for it on Wednesdays.
Yes, and very convenient. They get all their knowledge from Smashbox on Tuesday nights. Interesting. Now, honestly, Cool Daddy Slick Bree's doing amazing work. If you're seeing the video content, if you're seeing the Instagrams, the Snapchats, all the various accounts, you've been manning those for the most part and getting everyone else on board, really elevating Dynamic Disc to where they are today. So thank you. Thank you for being a mentor and doing everything that you do. I know I come to you with questions on the media side, and you're always a helpful hand. So this is Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. A little later, we're going to catch up with Paige Pierce. We saw her finish out the round, and we'll see what she did as I talk to her just as soon as she completed her round. So for Cool Daddy, she completed. We're going to get back to the action after a word from our sponsors.
Here we go. You and me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are in the fairway of hole number 15. I'm joined by Madison Walker. And Madison, you're taking in the sights and the sounds, a little more action. You didn't get enough on the course earlier today?
Nope, there's never enough. I just keep coming back for more.
You said earlier when we caught up with you that you had a better day today than you did yesterday. What was the difference?
I just played a little bit cleaner, not as many OB strokes. I missed a couple Mandos yesterday, which was a little bit silly. But everything generally was cleaner. Not a lot of time in the bushes, which I spent yesterday.
You had a heartbreaking finish to the last Disc Golf Pro Tour event. You weren't feeling well. We're over that, and hopefully you'll never have another one of those nasty DNFs on your record again, huh?
Yeah, that was my first one. I hope is also my last one, but I mean, it makes me not take for granted at least being able to come out here and play, even if it is awfully.
All right, well, I think we're going to also, maybe you can help me co-commentate a little bit. I believe we're going to have some action here on 15. This is the second card. Have you taken a look at the scores at all on the men's side outside of a leader card, or have you been paying any attention?
Not in the past two holes. Yeah.
What had you seen?
I saw markedly that Nico was shooting a great round, like an amazing round, and jumped from the bottom all the way up to somewhere around the quarter middle-ish range. And other than that, I know Germ's kind of staying ahead of the game. He's missed a couple birdies that he wanted. Ricky's playing awesome, but they all had a rough time on the first woods hole, but I don't know where everyone's sitting right now.
All right, well, we'll check in with UDisc Live in a few moments, and let's go ahead and we'll go see if we can call some of the action from the second card as they come in. And Madison, it looks as if we've caught up with our second card approximately halfway down the fairway, and Eagle McMahon is on the right side lining up his shot. This is one of the holes where it looks like if you're not in the fairway, you may have to pitch out, as we just saw Eagle do.
Yeah, this hole definitely requires a lot of smart play. You definitely have to consider pitching out. A lot of times off the tee is the only option is to pitch out into the fairway.
Well, I'm looking at the scores that you referenced earlier. We see Devin Owens through 17 holes is at 10 under par. So one of the hottest rounds out there. Also, John Perry, who's through 15 holes today, is at 9 under par. So certainly a couple of really hot rounds. And earlier you alluded to just how well Nico had played. We saw Nico play his 18th hole and then checked in with him after that. He, in fact, moved up, as of right now, 27 spots into a tie for 46 as he shot a 12 under. Pretty incredible round out there.
And I believe he was 16 under, or 14 under through 16, but finished off with a double bogey.
He had a triple bogey on hole 17 and then still took the birdie on 18. He hit basket on 18 for the eagle, and he had to just finish off with that birdie, but pretty incredible round, just one little blemish.
That's pretty unbelievable out here. This place definitely lives up to its name.
And now we're seeing Eagle McMahon, who's lining up what looks to be an overhand shot, some type of thumber, I believe.
Tomahawk.
Tomahawk. Explain, everyone at home, as I couldn't see his hands, what's the difference between the two?
With the tomahawk, you have the bottom of the disc facing out. With the thumber, you have the bottom of... Oh, he actually threw a forehand, just very Anheuser. With the thumber, you have the bottom of the disc facing your head.
Okay. Pro tip here from Madison Walker on the vocab. And Ricky Wysocki staying away from the group. We see that frequently. Ricky seems to kind of collect his own thoughts. He moves away from the group. He doesn't really engage in a lot of small talk, but I believe that's his way of staying in the moment.
Yeah, if you can get him to smile or laugh at a joke mid-round, it's like a victory in your book.
Greg Barsby is lining up a forehand shot.
This green is very guarded. It's one of the most guarded greens on this course and also that I've seen in a long time. Pretty much the only way to approach it successfully is with a forehand, or if you have a very, very touchy hyzer flip backhand with a putter, but it's definitely forehand dominant on this hole.
Greg Barsby, we see, is just one down through 12 holes here. And there's a lot of moving that can happen both up and down the leaderboard. A few strokes make a world of difference out here. And we're seeing that anything that you did yesterday, whether it was good or bad, you really just need to wipe it clean and come out and give it another shot here today.
Yeah, with all the par 5s that we have in the woods, we have a couple par 5s and par 4s, and then also with the water holes at the end that with a pretty strong head or crosswind in those holes, anything can happen. There's high numbers getting taken out here, and there's also opportunities to birdie these really difficult holes. So really anything could happen at any time.
Well, and you mentioned your 7-stroke improvement from yesterday's round. Leslie Todd has informed everyone she has a 17-stroke improvement. And she said, maybe I do remember how to play disc golf. And that's a direct quote from the Facebook. So solid round out here, Leslie. Congrats, and glad to see it. And very solid comeback for sure.
I'm happy to see that too. I saw Leslie score from yesterday, and I knew something weird must have happened because that was very unlike her.
And Nico Lacastro, as we've talked about, had battled back hard. He gets to the course late yesterday, missing the first 4 holes, and then right out of the car, birdies the first 2 holes of play, and then goes on to have a very solid round from there on out.
Yeah, I think it does a lot for your mentality when you come and miss a few holes, because, I mean, at that point it's all or nothing. You don't really have any options but to birdie everything, and I think it's pretty freeing mentally.
All right, well, in a moment here, we're going to be able to catch up with our leader card and get back to the action. I'd like to thank Madison for joining us and giving us some insights. We'll check in with her throughout the day. And also Cameron Frymark has all of the local routes as a competitor that comes out here frequently. And Cameron, if you're out here playing a casual round, is there a score that you're hoping to obtain when you come out and play?
Anything sub 60 and I feel fine. When you start getting into the 50s, that's when you start reaching that 1,000 rated mark. And on this hole, walking away the 5, I generally feel fine. 4s are fantastic, and I've 3'd at one time.
All right, first to throw was Ricky. He'd already just thrown. I'm sorry, I'm just off of the fairway's edge myself. This looks like James Conrad coming through. Also right down the center, just narrowly missing one of the Jomez camera crew. And that seems to be a really good position.
He and I talked just a few moments ago, and he said he did that exact same line with the T-bird during practice, and he was going to try it again. So good on him. Very nice.
As I discussed with Madison, when you're playing a course that's this challenging, you really just have to wipe your memory clean from the day before, whether it was a good shot or a bad shot, and you need to come out and just execute again and keep it in the fairway. And Big Germ hits a tree center fairway that kicks to the right. He'll certainly be throwing probably a forehand from there to get back out. And Dave Felberg on the tee.
It's like a hyzer flip-up shot that's staying a little to the right, but comes out clean. He's going to have a look at a 3. And there it's a forehand shot, or maybe I don't know if he has a flick roller in his bag or not, but there's an opportunity to get to the basket from there.
Well, Dave Felberg has been playing a long time, one of the most titled and accredited players here and most traveled competitors in all of disc golf, but a forehand he does not keep in the bag. I would be incredibly shocked to see that. And the gallery back here with our leader card is assisting Big Germ as to where his disc had carried into the right side. And Big Germ is currently on at least one knee. Well, he's really tall. He could be on both knees or maybe even laying down, and he still is propped up. I think he's kind of like a dragon, some kind of snake or something. A cobra, is that what it is? Is that what I'm thinking of?
I don't know what you're talking about, Terry.
All right, Big Germ doing a little lumberjack work here, actually.
We'll take all the course maintenance we can get out here.
Yeah, ask for him to come back out next Tuesday afternoon, I think, is when the time he could be helping with some of that. This is the first of 2 par 5s that the competitors will see here today. I'm guessing that the flow will somewhat even itself out here. We talked about it a little bit earlier, seeing some of the lower scores get through the course earlier this morning. And now I think we should have a relatively good flow. We appreciate you guys tuning in, watching us here for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And a harsh cut roller by Big Germ coming in. It hits off the tree branches and still carries forward. Quite the momentum.
Yeah, really solid scramble on his part. From down there, he's still going to have a look at a birdie 4. That was really impressive.
Dave Felberg's
Right side.
on the right side here, looking as to if we saw it come in, which we did. And Waisaki eyeing up his lane of choice. Waisaki looking at both high and low routes, possibly a cut roller, forehand, high sky shot, patent pending. There's so many options here.
If you wind up in the right spot, there's actually an option to throw over the entire rough to get there, but you have to be in just the right spot to find that ceiling, or lack of a ceiling.
And a long jump putt by Ricky Waisaki, and really that's just the definition of position golf. Ricky taking his putter, throwing it approximately 100 feet just to try and put himself in the right position. And James Conrad may be next to throw. We've seen all of our other, seen both approaches by Coling and Waisaki already.
Yeah, Coling is still perhaps 200 feet away from the basket, and it's going to take a really skilled forehand shot to get up there and skip and stick and not hit any trees along the way.
I heard in the off-season Big Germ was taking forehand lessons from Madison Walker. And he likes it, gives himself the triple clap. That's one more than Felberg typically gives when Felberg's happy with a shot.
James Conrad has got a tricky shot here. He needs to keep it kind of high to be able to get to the basket because it's elevated from where we're at. But also there are a lot of trees and a lot of turning he's going to need to do. This will be interesting.
And he goes for the up and over with a putter. I was going to see if it holds that line. And he shrugs his shoulder and says, we'll see. He's hoping that shot works out for him. Paige Pierce's mouth is aghast. She's very impressed by the shot. And Felberg is the last in the group here to throw. He had the furthest drive of the group. He's pinched up on this right-hand side again. It's really about the angle here.
Yeah, he has to stay away from that right side and get it to turn pretty quickly after that corner. It's a pretty difficult shot.
Perfectly placed shot by Dave Felberg. That's going to put him in a great position for a really long eagle attempt, or at least the birdie 4. watching Ricky from one knee. He would have loved if his approach shot was about 15 feet shorter than what it really was. It gave him somewhat of an awkward angle. However, it looks like he'll have a putt from there. And it looks as if James Conrad has come down in a somewhat open area. However, he's got a lot of shrubbery between him and the basket.
Yeah, he's going to have to get high and get it to just fall flat to maybe a pancake shot. Looks like that's what he's lining up. That's inside the circle. Very nice.
And Paige Pierce is out here pulling double duty today. Not only does she play division-leading golf, but she's also holding up the Pro Tour quiet sign, making sure she's making the most of the day out here in Texas. Dahlberg's putt will leave him left, however, still a really easy tap-in birdie.
Yeah, you feel fine walking away with the 4, and even just having a look at a 3. This is one of the more difficult holes to eagle, I think, this one and 18.
Players conversing as to who would be out next. Looks like it's going to be Big Germ, who's got a very obstructed putt. He's leaning forward on one knee. Can't be more than 15, maybe 18 feet at most, but he's got a very tiny window to hit.
Yeah, it may be hard to see him in there, but he is in there.
And Big Germ giving it his all, getting a little bit caught up. Certainly somewhat frustrated with his effort there. He did not grab any chain or metal. And Big Germ is genuinely speechless here as I'm trying to spit that out. He just cannot believe as to where that finished after the rollaway here on this green. He is outside the circle's edge, looking approximately 40 feet away. Heard a loud sigh. This is going to cost Big Germ at least an additional stroke. I'm not sure he's getting out of here. And again, not even an opportunity to get it up over the basket's edge. And Ricky Wysocki left with 25 feet.
Solid putt. Yeah, as Madison was saying earlier, this is one of the more treacherous greens on the course. We had a super difficult time even just painting the lines for it.
Big Germ had asked us what happened. It really just passed the chains, didn't hit any metal, and then carried all the way past the back. A little bit of a skip and roll away. One of the times we were wishing something would get in the way of that disc. James Conrad has been scrambling here for the last few shots. He's in a very similar position to where we just saw Big Germ putt from. And a solid putt by James Conrad. And Dave is going to quietly sneak in with his birdie 4. And the Beast takes another bite. We've got a brief walk. We'll be back in a few moments after a word from our sponsors.
As a PDGA-approved championship-level disc golf target, the Dynamic Discs Veteran Basket is a great solution for your most durable basket demands. Starting with galvanized metal components, followed by a powder coating application, ensures that the elements will not compromise the functionality or aesthetics of your new basket. Equipped with an industry-first 18/8 stainless steel chain assembly, these chains will look and sound great for years to come. A proven name with a great product at a great price. Enlist the Dynamic Discs Veteran for your course today.
Welcome back. We have Ricky Wysocki throwing his tee shot, which is low, and gets a really weird kick off of a stump here on the left side of the fairway.
Really, that was a fortunate kick. If he'd continued to go to that right or that left side, that's where the real trouble is. So he's going to be in the middle and still going to be up there for an easy birdie. I say easy. He's going to be able to go for a birdie.
James Conrad will be second to tee. And no surprise, Conrad straight down the center of the fairway. When I talked to him yesterday, he said he enjoys playing the woods golf that's featured here on the Beast. He says, I'm from Virginia, and I didn't really believe that they'd have woods golf. But when he got out to this back half of the Beast, he's like, all right, I feel right at home. And he's proving that as he's peering just about every fairway that he's approaching to.
Yeah, we're not all just pastures and cows here in Texas. We've got some woods here, too. And Feldberg is just on the edge of the fairway. He might be okay. You don't get a good run up right there, but he can get a good standstill shot.
Feldberg with the furthest drive of the three thus far, however, off on the left side of the fairway. Big Germ opts for the forehand, and that's carrying right. And he's got some trees directly between him and the pin. Not so much the distance, but more so the angle from that spot.
Yeah, the left side is significantly more forgiving. On the right side, you often can't get a stance, can't do anything at all, just lay up. On the left side, you can usually get some arm movement, but it's difficult to get a run up. So he's got some stuff to work with there.
Well, the sun continues to poke out and shining brightly on us as we are taking in the weather, experiencing light 10-mile-an-hour winds. Figured that would keep us a little bit cooler here today. We're looking for nice sunny skies tomorrow, highs near 80 degrees as well. And I'll just go ahead and jinx us and say gorgeous weather here in Texas this weekend.
Perfect weather every day. That's all we ever have in Texas.
I don't believe you. All right, let's get into position. And Big Germ has walked up and given himself a little bit of what looks to be a sigh. Certainly frustrated with the lie that he has. I wouldn't say that this is one of the easier par fours. However, if you keep it in the fairway, there's certainly plenty of room to work with. James Conrad is going to be approaching first. And Conrad's is hugging the left side, not quite all the way to the pin, but he'll have a putt from there.
Yeah, it looked like he went down the hill just a little bit. I think he's going to be in between the two circles. Usually, players like to bite a lot off the tee on this one. It's a wide enough fairway that you can crank one out there, and it's such a long hole that it really helps if you can get it down the fairway on that first throw. Otherwise, you can wind up scrambling on your second and third shots.
Big Germ having challenges over there?
Yeah, it looks like the beast is giving him a few bites.
And again, Germ will outstretch, looks like to his right, take his stance with one knee on the ground. Frequently see both Big Germ and Ricky Wysocki with so many more options. And a solid approach shot comes up short. And Wysocki following suit. He's going to take one knee for a forehand approach. And maybe Ricky looking to duplicate some of his heroics from yesterday. His approach shot was short. Looked like he had approximately a 70 or 80 footer yesterday. Today is going to be at least 100 feet. Off on our left, and the left side of the fairway, I should say, is Dave Felberg's tee shot. Dave calling for his caddy Cynthia. It's going to be a disc swap here. And she's handed him an alternative. Dave carries 67 discs in his bag. And Felberg with the lunging to the right. I think he's safe sliding into second there.
Yeah, he's safe, and he's going to have perhaps a little bit of stripe. He's going to have a good look at a birdie 3. That was very nice.
Wysocki goes for the putt. However, he hits a high tree branch, and he's going to be left with a little bit more work here for what was looking like a long birdie attempt. Now he's going to have a relatively long par attempt from outside the circle one.
Yeah, not surprising at the Beast. We have another pretty well protected basket from up top, as well as the pepper trees around the basket and the hill to the left and behind it.
Wysocki's effort is right and does not draw any medal. Quite a turn of events from hoping for the birdie here. Now he's looking at the bogey.
Yeah, that's what one tree kick can do for you on the Beast.
James Conrad is a few feet behind circle one. And again, just a few branches are going to keep him away from the basket. Big germ from just inside the circle. Right side chain and out. And the putting woes continue here on this green. Dave Felberg is high and hits off the band. Wysocki is going to be placed just below the basket's edge, looking at 15 feet for comebacker. And Wysocki is in, and I think every competitor is ready to move off of the par 4, which did a little more damage than they would have expected. We're going to move on to hole 17. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. Thanks for tuning in right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. James Conrad going right up the middle with what I believe is a putter here on hole 17. Measuring in at 279 feet, slightly uphill.
Yeah, this is another hole that we didn't see many birdies on our feature card yesterday. There are a lot of trees to contend with, and that left side rough is pretty thick, and the right side stuff would just slow you down. Germ with the high one. If that hyzer's back a little bit, he'll have a... Ooh, right by the basket. He's inside the circle.
And Ricky's looking for his forehand to turn over, however it gets the tree. We've got more coverage from the women's round on hole 17. We'll be back in a moment. And Felberg's going to need that to sit down. And it continues to roll. It looks like it's going to be within 15 feet. I'm now joined by Paige Pierce. And Paige, they've been watching your play throughout. Let's watch Ricky here for a moment, and then we'll catch up with you a little bit.
Sounds
you calling
good.
this in for Rick?
I say in for sure. Dead center, dead center.
You called it. Big Jern babbled, but Paige called it. Ricky from 34.5 feet. For all you rangefinders at home. James Conrad finds himself about 15 feet uphill. He's been playing very solid here today. This is for birdie 2. Paige, who do you think has to fix their ponytail more during a round, yourself or James Conrad?
I haven't seen him touch his lately, actually, so maybe me, but maybe because I don't brush my hair in the morning.
Thalberg's in, and we're also catching wind of a backup here on hole 18 on the next hole. And Big Germ's in for the birdie. Paige, we'll catch up with you a little bit more on hole 18. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Sun King Discs, established in 2001. Florida's most respected name and discs official retail merchandiser of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Currently on tour supporting Discraft and DGA live inventory, free shipping at $12. All orders $19.99, ships in a box, includes single discs, large selection of both stock and collectibles. Check out the website at www.sunkingdiscs.com.
Welcome, everyone. I am joined by Paige Pierce, who is currently our leader here after 2 rounds. Paige, tell us a little bit about the second round out here today.
Like you said, I'm in the lead, but it was not what I was hoping for today. I think Sarah actually caught me with 2 holes to play. The woods, I just did not play well. My release point was off by like this much, but it's so tight back there that, you know, you have no room for error. So every hole I was shooting at least 1 stroke worse than I wanted, and on 1 hole I got a 7, so, you know, quite a few strokes worse than I was hoping.
There was a swing there. I believe Sarah picked up 4 strokes on you in 2 holes, not 2 short holes, in 2 holes.
Yeah.
But then you battled back and you finished pretty strong. I saw you play out on 18. Looks like everything went well there.
Yeah, hole 18 was good. When like I said, the woods killed me. Once I got out of the woods, like on the 2 last holes in the woods, I said, okay, 2 more woods holes. Let's get off of these. Just minimal damage. Just, you know, try to keep it minimal. And like you said, she got 4 strokes on me so quick. On 1 hole, she got 3 on me. Hole 15, I think it's the toughest hole. Her drive was past my 3rd shot, and she had a putt for 3 actually. So yeah, she played really well in the woods, and then I think I got some of the momentum back out here in the wind. So it was kind of up and down, and it's going to be a battle tomorrow for sure.
I expect nothing but a battle between the 2 of you, both playing well. When I talked to her earlier in the week, this is Sarah, she was excited about all the way the holes kind of bend in shape out here.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they kind of help her forehand shot a little bit better, which she relies on?
I think there are some holes definitely that play to a sidearm, but there's also some holes that I have to see her, or that I see her having to force over. So I think it's pretty even, and it's only about 9 holes in there. So then the open holes are pretty even as well. So I think, you know, we both have developed strengths and can find ways to maneuver those holes. So anyone's game, really.
It is. Well, you have a 2-stroke margin right now. We're going to move into the 3rd day, the 3rd and final day. We wish you the best of luck out here in Waco.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Paige Pierce. Let's get back to the action. Let's get Hello everyone, we are here in the fairway of hole number 18. We're going to stand down for just a moment while we can give Eagle McMahon some silence here for him to throw his approach shot. And shortly after we watch Eagle McMahon throw his approach shot, I'll catch up a little bit more with Paige Pierce. We just watched Eagle McMahon move on to the right side of the fairway after being on the left. And now again we can catch up with Paige Pierce. Paige, as we're seeing the players move down the fairway on 18, looks like, is that Landon Knight, I believe? Landon's off on the left side of the fairway. What do you think of this hole? This is the 2nd par 5 on the course. How did you attack it?
Both of these 2 par 5s are super tough. I mean, you have no room for error. Both sides are so tight, so all these guys are on the left side right here. They're kind of scrambling. So, you know, you really just want to stay in the fairway and hope that's the easiest way to get a 4.
Well, and someone like yourself who has a really solid forehand, we see Eagle and Landon with solid forehands. Huge advantage out here. I mean, you're going to find yourself both left and right on these fairways, and when you can throw with both sets of spin, so to speak, it makes it a lot easier. What do you suppose would be the plan if someone does get off? Do you see them pitching back out in the fairway?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like me and Madison were just talking about the guys. We see a lot that they don't lay up. Ricky threw this crazy tomahawk over the top on hole 10, and you know, for us girls, we're kind of pitching out and taking what we were given off the tee pad. But a lot of these guys are, you know, throwing forced shots out of the woods. So, I mean, like you said, you kind of need both sets, because if you land on the left, you want that reach out sidearm. If you land on the right, you want the behind the back backhand.
Well, so what I think I just heard you say is that women play smarter.
In some senses, but I mean, the guys have a little bit more skills, or not better skills, but they have more. So, you know, they have more tools to work with, I would say. So sometimes they kind of get a little greedy, or maybe I see a lot of egos, like they're too scared to lay up, or not scared maybe, but, you know, they think that, oh, I know I can throw this shot, so they kind of...
They go for the hero shot.
Yeah, they do, and a lot of times it pays off, but there are some times when, you know, it ends up in a 6, like we just saw back there. So, yeah, I mean, I think laying up is kind of overrated. Sometimes you need to do it.
Yeah, you do. Well, we see Ricky Wysocki currently sitting at 6 under this round, putting him at 18 under overall. That's a one-stroke advantage over Jeremy Colling, James Conrad, and Simon Lizotte. Simon at 9 under par through scoring of 12 holes here today. So Miles Seaborn playing well, as we'd expect. John Perry finished with an 11 under par today, one of the hottest
Nico
rounds.
did as well.
And Nico, we talked about Nico.
14 under when I looked, and then he took a 7.
Yes, he did.
That's
We
awesome.
actually caught up with him just as he was moving on to the 18th tee. I watched him take the 7. That was heartbreaking, especially after just watching him eagle the previous hole. And he was tearing it up. We caught up with him. We showed everyone at home the final hole, as well
What did
as...
he do on 18?
18, he went at it hard, but it actually turned over, and he kind of finished where you did yesterday,
Okay.
during yesterday's shot at least.
Got a 3?
And he then threw from about 150 feet, hit off the front of the basket, went to 15 feet, and then he tapped in for the 3. So but he was almost cashed
So
in the
11
eagle.
under. Wow.
Yes, very solid. As we look at some of the other scores, John Perry with that 11 under, as I said. Emerson Keith at 9 under on the round today. Will Schustrick with a solid bounce back today, shooting 10 under. And then also Devin Owens has an a 10 under in the clubhouse. Matt Bell with an 8 under, and Nate Perkins moving up 24 spots unofficially with an 8 under par today. Gavin Rathbun sitting at even today. And I think we're going to be able to get back to some more of the action from the fairway here on 18. And we'll be back in just a few moments. Looks like James Conrad is on the tee and will be ready to go in a moment. Let's see if we can get everyone in position. Again, very tight fairways here for both players and media and gallery. James throwing a putter off the tee there, Paige?
Yep, putter turnover. It's refreshing to see on this card of sidearm dominance. So
He caught a tree on what was his left side. However, it did land perfectly in the fairway. It didn't go more than 150 feet here off the tee. Not the start he was looking for, but at least it's in the fairway.
fairway is key. If you're 300 feet or 150 feet, as long as you're in the middle, that's where you want to be. Awesome shot by Germ. Sidearm with an 8-6 Firebird. He's right in the fairway.
Yesterday we saw Ricky Wysocki take a backhand here. I'm still unsure what he was attempting, but here he goes with the forehand as you'd expect.
Great kick right into the center of the fairway, even farther than Germ's was.
And Ricky couldn't see where that finished. I think he'll be actually very pleased. We know if Ricky does an ace, he's somewhat disgusted with himself, but that was a really good shot for Ricky. And Felberg with a mid-range turnover, left side. He's going to have some work to do.
Yeah, a little pinched up on the left side. He's going to have to do some sort of scrambling. I'm surprised that Ricky threw backhand yesterday.
We're still unsure as to what was going on. Cameron and I were out here, and we're not sure if he was just trying to fight back out to the opening and maybe, I don't know, get past the Mandos and then play out to the opening. We're really unsure as to what he was attempting, but He scrambled and he made up for it, but it wasn't pretty.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what James Conrad does here. I'm going to guess he's going to go with another backhand turnover putter. He said he likes to keep his putter in his hand in the woods out here.
You are currently sitting with what I believe is a 2-stroke margin of lead for tomorrow. Is that correct?
I think it's 3 strokes. I was up by 5, and she beat me by 2 today, so
Okay.
I believe it's 3.
And do you know who else rounds out the leader card?
Yeah, Melody Wable, actually. There's a tie between Melody, Stephanie Vincent, and I believe also Lisa. They're all 3 tied for 3rd. But Lisa was on our card and had the worst round of the 3, so Melody will jump up for the lead card.
And another turnover shot. Looks like it might have caught edge. I'm not going to put any pressure on you, Paige, but I picked you in my fantasy. So if you go to skipace.com, I picked you as one of my 2 women in the fantasy, along with Stephanie Vincent. So you keep doing what you're doing, and it will pay off for the disc golf guy. I like to hear that.
Well, I hope it works out for you.
Thank you. Dave wondering if he had possibly hit the stump. I'm not sure that it did when it came in. I'd still be willing to bet my collection of discs on the fact that we won't see a forehand by Dave Felberg here.
I doubt it. And also, how many discs are in your collection? Just curiosity.
A few thousand, possibly.
Wow, that's a strong bet. That's a strong bet there, but I think you're right. I'm sure we'll see a behind the back, some sort of crazy backhand.
Blue germ today, all sported out and from head to toe in various shades of blue, just like this guy.
Excuse me?
I'm not going to say that those are identical.
These 2 are identical. That's as identical as it gets with those. It's made by the same company.
Tuck it in and break it up with a white belt.
Yeah, big germ.
We'll see. I think that's the look you're going for.
Looking cheap out. Show off off season. Same time.
South by.
Show off my Terry Miller.
You got a little work to do, buddy. And right now we're standing down and waiting on the second card, who looks to be on the green. Those aren't various shades?
He is going forehand.
Oh, wow. There goes my collection, just like that.
Oh my gosh. What are you ever going to do? He really had no other choice from there, and it was a great choice.
Look at that. Everyone here is impressed and surprised. I think in my 20-plus year career, that might be the first time I've seen a forehand by Dave Felberg.
I'm pretty sure me too, and he's smiling. He liked it, and Jeremy even called it textbook.
Then again, to be fair, Jerm uses different textbooks than I think I did as a kid, but that's another story. Both Ricky and Big Germ assessing where they're going to try and put their second shot.
Looks like Germ will be up first, and he has a lot more severe of a hyzer that he has to put on it. Ricky kind of has a pretty straightforward shot.
We're getting the unofficial do not throw sign from further down the fairway. And Big Germ will be up to throw. Everyone else seems to be ready to go. Big Germ has, again, officially relinquished the lead at the moment. As we said, he's sitting at 17 under par, along with Miles Seaborn, Simon Lizotte, and James Conrad.
Is Miles round over? Oh, he's through 13 holes, Simon too. This is going to be an exciting finish, especially coming back into the open holes with the wind.
Cut forehand roller by Big Germ. That's going to work out nicely. Backhand turnover by Wysocki, hoping that comes in flat. And it carries left. He'll have a little bit of work to do. Long putt from there. And again, moving down the fairway here on hole number 18, I'm catching back up with the group here. They're on the left-hand side. James Conrad is faced with a whole bunch of nastiness. Cameron Frymark has been out here today taking in the action. Thank you for being out here and doing all the work you're doing, Cameron. This hole is brutal.
Yeah, absolutely. The left side is quite a bit more brutal than the right, but the whole way through you've got a lot to contend with.
And James Conrad has hit a tree directly in front of him. It was no more than an arm's length away. Immediately upon release, it had kicked off the tree, and that stroke is going to punish him in what looks like multiple ways. Not only did he only carry about 5 to 8 feet in front of him, but I think his line is going to be just as obstructed.
Yeah, I think he actually hit that during his swing. I don't think he left his hand before it hit the tree, and he's giving up a couple of strokes right there.
Very painful to see here. James Conrad on this left side rough. He's going to attempt another forehand that's coming out. It's panning and still back in the left on the left-hand side. I'd like to thank Paige Pierce and Madison Walker for giving us some of their insights here throughout the round. Cameron, we're a little more than halfway through the event. And as Paige was just mentioning a few moments ago, we are definitely looking at an exciting battle here with half the event to play.
Yeah, absolutely. The way that this course challenges you, it really evens the field between all the pros because you have to have such a variety of shots. I personally think that this course favors long throwers and long forehands, and we have quite a few guys at the top that have that germ and Wysocki, but it's really difficult out here. One bad kick can change around for you.
Very long jump putt by Big Germ.
Perfect leaning post.
Excuse me?
Perfect leaning post.
Big Germ is seeing James Conrad still off to our left-hand side, approximately 85 feet to the pin.
It's closer to 90.
And within 2 feet. "70-footer uphill." And Waisaki is short. And Felberg's attempt is wide into the right from just about 42 feet. All the competitors will have short tap-ins, and then we're going to have a very lengthy walk over to what is course hole number 1. I believe it will move us into our final third of the course here today. Listen to a word from our sponsor, as well as a whole preview for hole number 1. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching the second round of the Waco Annual Charity Open, Waco Annual Dynamic Disc. We'll also give you the women's footage from the holes moving forward. We'll be back in a moment.
Doing something right. He's finishing the bogey, yeah?
And welcome back. We are here on course hole number 1. And we're all good, yes. Big Germ confirms, and we are good to go. Power forehand by Big Germ with a left to right wind pushing, and gives himself the single clap. Very well executed. We'll see if Ricky goes with the backhand roller we saw from him yesterday.
Yeah, it looks like he's got his vision in his hand. I think that's what he's going to do. Again, hopefully the wind is pushing towards right. Hopefully he can get it out to the left a bit before it happens. He can keep it in bounds.
Going with a different disc here. And after a few different disc swaps, Ricky ultimately has it carrying toward the OB. That is not going to stand up, and it has gone OB over the sidewalk and carries into the second hole's fairway. Felberg with the straight air shot. That's going to have a gentle fade left. It hits a tree, however, still in the center of the fairway.
James trying to attack the right side of the fairway here. He gets a nice S-curve way up the fairway. I think that looked like another T-bird.
That's a crush. Let's see what the women did right here on hole number 1. Perfect. And it looks like Dave Felberg's going to be first to throw. Oh, and flashing just in front of the basket. Great effort by Dave Felberg. Ricky Wysocki, who had gone out of bounds, will be throwing second.
And a nice forehand shot up and settled under the basket. He's going to be able to take a circle 4 on this hole. Honestly, this hole always feels like a tweener. It's either a very difficult par 3 or a pretty easy par 4. It's kind of in the middle.
Big Germ going with a Nova out around the same tree we saw Felberg pass by on the right side. James Conrad with the longest drive in the group, approximately 35 feet outside of Circle 2. Looks like just about 100 feet. And when you throw a drive that far, this definitely makes the birdie 3 relatively easy.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
Felberg will tap in. We're going to have a very brief walk over to the tee on the next hole, which is normally course hole number 2. Also our Zucca Mando. Waisaki cleans up for the par 4. High and in for James Conrad. And Big Germ taps in. We're going to move on to hole 2 in just a moment. Stay tuned. You're watching live disc golf right here for the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
If I lay up, I get a personal best. But if I hit the putt, it's a new course record. Big Germ with a simple forehand out to the left side as it carries right with a slight tailwind. And James not quite wide enough. And Waisaki with a left side forehand coming in nicely with a hard skip to the right. Let's see what the women did here on hole 2 earlier today. And welcome back here to hole number 2. We've seen James Conrad throw his approach shot, which landed underneath the basket. He'll be tapping in for a 3. Ricky Wysocki's disc carried OB, which he did not know from the tee, nor did I. And not only is he OB, but he's looking at a long headwind putt from near circle's 2's edge. Ricky, a little bit of struggle here on holes 1 and 2. And albeit the right height, just a bit wide right for Ricky. Next to putt will be Big Germ.
Solid putt. That's a 1, 2. We're going to get 2 2s out of this hole, and this is another short, under 300-foot hole that still has some teeth on it.
And Felberg lets one slip by here as his putter carries up and over the basket. There is a right to left wind. Ricky's going to collect his thoughts here. This is for bogey 4. And both Felberg and Ricky Wysocki gesturing and talking to themselves, both very frustrated with their effort. And James Conrad will tap in. Big Germ with the lone birdie here on hole number 2. I would have never predicted that. Find it live on udisclive.com and right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We'll be back in a moment.
Having trouble finding the discs you're looking for? Disc Golf Center has you covered. Your premier online retailer of disc golf discs and accessories features a live inventory of over 20,000 discs with the exact weight and color you're looking for. Take advantage of our free shipping within the U.S. on all orders over $12 and our customer rewards program. Visit discgolfcenter.com, the world's largest disc golf store. Having trouble finding?
Big Germ going with an overhand here off the tee, trying to eliminate all of the OB that's found on both the right and left side of the fairway at this 558-foot hole number 3.
Yeah, that line was new to me. I've not seen that before, but not many people also have that range on the thumbers.
Playing a turnover, hoping that pans out. It's doing so, and inbounds for James Conrad. Wysocki also going right up the middle with a very solid shot. We're going to see what the women did here on hole 3. We'll be back shortly after their drives and play at Brazos East.
And Feldbrook puts his inside the circle nicely. He's going to be about 15 feet away. Germ with a bit of a tree behind him. He's not going to get much of a run up. He's going to have to find a way to stand still this up there. As you can tell by that electrical box, we get a lot of dents and dings and short shots. He needs to get around that. And the tree behind it as well. Skipped a little bit behind it, but it looks like he might have about a 20-foot putt from there. These metal poles are just to protect those electrical boxes. They're not OB, they're just a little bit of a nuisance for the golfers. And the crowd likes it. Really, any shots that get past the metal bars are a good long drive. This hole plays more than 560 feet. And it looks like all of these guys are in this circle going to be putting at a birdie 3. Looks like Germ has been called out. It's going to have a slight headwind. Ooh. Pro side splash. The wind is gusting right now. Dave steps back a little bit. And he puts it in putting upside down. He says that helps the wind not get trapped underneath the disc. And Germ cleans up his 4.
And great concentration by James Conrad. Some spectators were moving in the background, and Rick is in as well. We have a backup on the next hole, so we're going to bring you a few words from our sponsors, as well as catching up with Jonathan Cook from the Waco Events Planning Committee. Talked with him earlier and the support that Waco gives to disc golf. We'll be back in a moment.
Welcome back, everyone. I am joined by one of the most important men in all of Waco, and this is Jonathan Cook, our events director. And Jonathan, thank you for having us here in your great city and putting on the disc golf event that you guys are doing.
Well, I tell you, it's vice versa, and it goes both ways because we couldn't be more excited to have y'all here, showcase this park that we have here at Brazos Park East, and also the city.
Well, we've seen golf here, and then there's actually a course just across the street, and people are able to play there too. How did you guys get so behind the sport of disc golf?
Well, I tell you, it started back, local guy Joey Harrell and a bunch of guys back in the early 90s really got it started. I've been here for over 15 years, and we've just always had a great group of local guys. We love tournaments, and now seeing the sport grow like it has, it's really cool to come here. We built this course in 2003, and it's really become our showcase.
Well, a lot of people talk about it. It's my first time here, and as Steve Dodge said earlier in the week, if he was going to move anywhere, this Waco, he's put Waco on the map for a place to live. Great disc golf, great community. Anyone you need to thank in particular that you've partnered up with?
Well, I tell you, the thanks goes to the Waco Disc Golf Association and also Steve and the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And y'all guys for putting us on the map out here. And it is a great place, so come on out and enjoy it. It's great to see this park strictly for disc golf, multi-use park, but on the river, you just can't beat it.
You can't. Well, again, this is Jonathan Cook, your events director here in Waco. We love the course. We love the atmosphere. Make sure you get down to Waco to play some disc golf.
So you think you want to play Disc Golf Pro Tour Fantasy League at Skip Ace? Well, then go to Skip Ace and sign up. Step 1, make a new user. Step 2, log in. Yeah. Step 3, get ready to win some prizes because you're joining the Disc Golf Pro Tour Fantasy League. Join the Disc Golf Pro Tour Fantasy League. Password DGPT. Might want to review the rules. If you do well, you get points. You do bad, you lose points. Easy. Step 4, make your picks. Step 5, submit your picks. Step 6, make some popcorn. We'll see you on the flip side at the Pro Tour.
Dude, foot fault.
What?
Move your foot, dude. Foot fault.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Bobby Music here at Fountain Hills. This is going to be my definition of a death putt. Hole 1 right here. When you throw it, you technically want to be away from the water, which is up on top, coming straight into this, maybe a 15-foot, 20-foot ledge straight into the water. Being safe is always safe, but that death putt comes in real quick. So let's see it. From the circle's edge right here, about 35 feet, you could obviously see there's nothing but water in my eyes and chains. So if I stay focused on those chains and be confident, make a good putt. That's how you accomplish death putts.
Rick, get the action. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're good. Yep, we're good. I'm good if you're good, Dave. And we know you're good. World 2008 world champ here, Dave Felberg on the tee. Big Germ doesn't have a world championship yet.
I won the 2008 Amateur World Championships, Terry.
And Felberg putting down a massive roller earlier today, and watching Nico LaCastro, he put it to within 12 feet of the pin. This looks like it's finishing right, but I can't see that far. I'm not as tall as you, Big Germ.
How far do you think he is, Terry, in feet?
In fact, it sounds as if it's rolled out of bounds.
Okay. Well, just keep your opinions to yourself, Terry.
And it looks like we're getting one air shot out of this card. I would expect everybody to throw a roller with the way the wind is right now. Ooh, you hit the T sign? Is that what just happened? Ouch.
Ooh, hopefully that catches edge and starts traveling right, but he put it way left enough to where OB is not in question.
Is trying to sit down.
He actually overthrew the hole. He's going to have like about a 30-foot putt looking back at it.
Big Germ with a roller. What's he throwing there, Paige?
I saw it and it looked like a Champion Roadrunner. His other option was a Pro Boss, so I would say that was a good option as it's curling up nice, similar to Rick's.
And it is inbounds, and we'll see what the women did here on hole 4 earlier today. Who's up first? Very lengthy walk down the fairway, and we have come to see Dave Felberg. In fact, OB, he's a little bit beside himself. I think he's going to want to double check the rule book or caddy book possibly. I'm not sure if he's convinced if he's OB. And again, players scattered everywhere throughout, trying to track them down and see who's out and who will be throwing first. Looks like James Conrad will be first to approach.
Some really strong tailwinds pushed that disc down a little bit early.
And Felberg Just a few steps outside of the Circle 2 area, so I'm going to say he's about 78, maybe 80 feet. He's going to make sure he gets his lie correct. Feldberg will have a chance to get up and down here to save the par 4.
Gave it a good little soft run.
Yeah, still looking at a birdie. Rarely do you have a long birdie putt from penalty area, OB.
None of these guys can keep their putters in the air.
The wind, as you mentioned, Cameron, pushing down hard as they're all throwing their approach shots. Ricky Wysocki has in fact gone way past the pin.
Very impressive 600-foot roller, almost OB long.
He is faced with a very stiff headwind. He's going to take a knee, and he's going to have to really control the front edge of this disc, because if he lets it get up in the air too much with not enough spin, it could hyzer off hard and carry wide left. And Ricky opts for the spin putt, and he puts it just a few feet from the basket. James Conrad again, approximately 15 feet, but he's going to have to throw this hard and put it up over the center of the chains. Trying to keep it high so that knowing the tailwind would push it down, maybe overcompensated slightly.
I think perhaps maybe traffic was a little bit of a distraction. It's 5 o'clock right here in Waco, and everybody's on the way home Friday night.
Wind picks up. Moving on, just 2 holes left to play here today during the second round of the Waco Annual Charity Open on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
We all have those moments, we have those memories. They're life-changing, they're pivotal. To me, it's really about a life well lived. We make something that at its best has the opportunity to be a part of those moments with people. You decided that we were welcome to be a part of that moment. We weren't even there, but something we do and that we labor really hard to make sure it's really nice and is beautiful, gets to be a part of these other people's memories, and that just feels like a gift.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
Welcome back, everyone. I am joined by AJ Risley, who's been traveling around the country for the last few years, touring in disc golf. AJ, you've got to have at least one pro travel tip for us.
Pro travel tip, off the top of my head, I would say go to the grocery store more often than eating out. Yeah, eating out can add up real quick, you know, especially if you're sitting down to eat and you have to tip people over and over. I'd say stick to the grocery store. Go and buy your meals for the week all at once, unless you can find the half off nights. Like I know Wingstop had Monday and Tuesday 60-cent wings. Sonic always has deals 8 p.m. and later, half off shakes and ice cream slushes. Sonic, sponsor me. Other than that, keep it cheap because it can add up.
All right. Well, if you're here in Waco, make sure you check out HEB, proud supporter and sponsor of the tournament this week. Do all your grocery shopping there. AJ, best of luck to you today.
Thank you, Terry. AJ, HEB, nice, good one.
And welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We are here with the second card. We have Landon Knight throwing his second shot a few moments ago. I believe we saw some shots from Eagle McMahon, who looks like he went OB on his tee shot. And then I think we saw a few other shots thrown. What were you catching while I was running off doing errands?
Oh, I was not catching much. I was taking a breather. But Landon here looks like he's sizing up. He's got a good forehand shot, and I think he can get there from here. He's just got to choose just the right angle because his wind right now, and it's not, luckily it's not blowing towards the water, but it is blowing towards the other OB on the other side of the basket.
This could be a heartbreaker today. I know we've talked about, use the cliche of taking a bite out of anyone's round, and really this hole's been a heartbreaker. We saw Landon Knight throwing that. He's going to go out to the peninsula where he was last inbounds from that position. Nico LeCastro, as we mentioned earlier, just destroying this course until he walked up here to hole number 17 and then took his triple bogey 7. So this moving its challenges, and Greg Barsby is next to throw, lined up.
He's putting this out wide over the water. We need that to stay up in the air, and it's not coming back.
Again, seeing another mistake made here on hole number 17. It's pushing hard left to right. I think the players are assuming it's going to do just that and bring it back in bounds, but two players here have maybe not made the right adjustment.
Yeah, our water here, this river that we're connected to, is called the Brazos, which is Spanish for arms, and so those are the arms of God reaching up and pulling your plastic from the sky.
And the players having a conversation as to who was last, where they were last inbounds. Not necessarily who was last inbounds, but as Greg Barsby is heading down towards the water's edge. Now he'll have a simple backhand approach toward the basket, approximately 125 feet from the pin. And looks like making it a little bit harder than he should have there.
Yeah, that stayed a little bit too much hyzer. I'd figure he'd go pretty wide of it and let it pan right, but he kept that low and too much hyzer. That'd almost get back in the water.
And Landon will line up. I honestly had thought that he was out closer to the peninsula. Of course, anytime you go OB, you can take it from where it was last inbounds, and I thought he had crossed that wide peninsula. However, none of the players had the vantage point that we did. And ultimately, the group always supersedes any form of spotters or spectators or random media commentators such as myself. But I honestly thought he was out closer toward the edge where we're seeing the other competitors.
Yeah, it can be difficult in situations where it's competitive for everybody to give you perhaps a full benefit of the doubt. But it's one thing I liked about the sport is that you do always give the player the benefit of the doubt. So if you can't see where a shot went or where it went OB, you give them a very generous lie or generous option. It can be difficult to do that, though, when you're just a couple strokes away from somebody.
Eagle McMahon, who's had his struggles here. We're going to check in with the scores. Again, we'd like to thank Matt and Josh and the rest of the crew. Matt and Josh, the creators of UDisc, but also all of the volunteers that were out here helping keep scores, all of the women's scores correctly recorded earlier today. Thank you to everyone that helped out there, and the tireless efforts of the volunteers trying to make everything run as smoothly as possible at this amazing event presented by Dynamic Discs. Putting is hard, I think a good friend of mine once said. Scott Burchard, what do you think of that?
I think we're throwing tee shots already. I feel like I just saw a disc roll over there. Yeah, no, that was definitely too much tailwind. He did not get it high enough for it.
All right, we're going to step aside from the putting and move over to the drives from our lead card. They are anxious and ready to go. That looks like a solid forehand shot, perfectly positioned.
Yeah, absolutely. He put it right where the old position is, and from there you can actually see the basket, which, you know, anything short of that you cannot, and you're dealing with some blind shots with water and OB on either side.
Dave Felberg was telling us on the walk over that yesterday he threw his shot on 17 the other direction. He had no idea that the previous hole had the OB sidewalk. And so unless they put in that sidewalk overnight, I think Dave's going to have to account for that. He threw a roller here. He's in the fairway and safe.
Yeah, from there, though, he's still not going to be able to see the basket. He's going to be throwing blind, and I guess he's going to have a big turnover. But with the wind blowing the way it is, he's going to throw it very carefully.
James Conrad going out and around. That's coming directly at us. And we're going to move as Conrad goes deep, but not OB. He comes up just 3 feet short of the OB paved landing area here for boats.
Yeah, he's going to be able to see the basket clearly, but I wonder how much that sign is going to affect his backswing.
And then as we discussed, shot had come in not knowing that they were ready to throw, so there was the initial tee shot that came in as well. That was short and in the fairway. So all 4 competitors are safe off the tee here today. However, a safe tee shot is just the beginning here on hole 17.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, all of these guys are going to have some tough decisions to make, except for Germ. I think the Germ is going to be a pretty easy decision, especially considering his skill with a forehand shot. I think this would be easy 3 for him from here.
If you're anywhere within a few hours of Waco, we certainly invite you to join us tonight. Big pub crawl, block party, everything else that's going on. Party on the bridge, I think, is really what we're doing tonight. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's the big show. We're going to have vendors set up all the way across our historic suspension bridge. It's actually one of the oldest suspension bridges in the country. And cars can't drive in. It's just a walking bridge. We'll have live music. We'll have a photo booth. We will have glow-in-the-dark disc golf set up by Night Eyes. We'll have a 9-hole course. There will be all of the Festival of the Disc games. And we'll be crowning our pub crawl champion and paying them $100.
Very nice. We're going to see where the action is. Everybody is just pointing from side to side, so please bear with us as we're going to get into position. It looks like James Conrad is going to be first to throw. Well, at least Big Germ has directed as such. Again, camera crews and everyone else running around to try and get into position. And you said it earlier, James Conrad may have to deal with this Brazos Park East sign. If not in his flight path, at least he'll have to be thinking about it in his follow-through. Looks like he's a few feet behind it. Shouldn't be a problem. However, visually, that's got to be distracting.
Well, I think he's going to have to try and force this to the right, which is, I think, may come into play for his backswing on that. We'll see. It's going to be a difficult shot for him. He's turned it a bit much, but hopefully he gets down and stays in. I think I heard it hit the wall. The green flag is up. Fantastic.
Very awkward shot there by James Conrad, making it work. Both Ricky Wysocki and Big Germ are out in the open, as well as Dave Felberg, so we'll have to see who will be throwing next. I believe it's going to be Dave Felberg. And Dave Felberg's going to have to go with a turnover shot, and we'll see if he tries to carry over the water or if he just simply lays it up and walks away with a 4 here.
Yeah, from there, there's actually another shot where he could throw over the rough, a little S-curve, but with the wind, it's a pretty difficult one, so I would expect going wide over the water, but we'll see what he... A roller? I wonder if that was intentional. Hopefully he hits that wall, but I'm not sure he meant to do that.
He did not, and Big Germ was, I believe, even second-guessing the effort there. Big Germ shaking his head on that one.
I think Big Germ made the same face when Felberg aced that hole in Vibram.
Ricky Wysocki will be next to throw. And Wysocki's forehand is carrying out and over and toward the pin and hits nicely and sticks the landing. Big Germ, maybe a little bit tentative to go out over the water, but it looks like he should have carried that wider.
Yeah, it looked like he threw it a bit nose up, and the wind really got under and carried it high and flanked him off to the right side. He still has a long looking for a birdie 3, but I think there's going to be some wind to deal with down there. Looked like he was just laying it up there, and it got scary for a moment as the wind picked it up, but he'll be able to get a 4 off of that, and that's fine. You're going to walk away with a par on this hole and feel great about it. Ooh, just off the chains. A very close 3 on that. He's going to settle for 4, but very nice run. That was just outside of the 2 meter, or the 2 circle, the 60-foot circle.
And Big Germ does not grab metal from just inside circle 1.
What a heartbreaker, and so we don't get any birdies on this hole. A few close ones, but this again just shows the teeth that you can have even on more open holes to the beast.
And they'll finish off. We got a long walk up to the final hole of the day. Stay tuned right here with the Disc Golf Pro Tour in Waco, Texas.
Achieving greatness requires hundreds of days of preparation, which is why the people at Vibram have worked for over 3 years to make their first ever distance driver the longest and straightest in the game. Introducing the new Vibram Lace, helping you achieve your greatness. Achieving greatness requires hundreds of days of preparation, which is why
Welcome back. We are here on our final hole of the day, and Cameron saved the best for last. Quite the headwind.
Yeah, you know, it's fun to watch guys throw across, but with this wind as stiff and as brutal as it is right now, I think everybody's going to be going for the hyzer layup on the left side.
And Ricky has done just that, going for the hyzer layup, which is carrying left, and that's in a great position.
It looks like he's considering going across.
And he's doing just that. He's going for it. That's turning over, and that's going to finish out nicely. That's tracking toward the pin. We'll see if it's got too much. And I believe that is safe back behind the pin.
There is a line that extends back from those signs right there, and it's kind of hard to tell from here. He went pretty long, but he's definitely within 60 feet on that.
And Felberg's looking for that to stable up. That looks to be a great shot, also tracking toward. It's going to be short, but it is safe, and the crowd loves it. Conrad taking the Ricky approach out and to the left. That should finish in the fairway, and we'll see. We're moving on. This is the final hole. Let's see what the women did on their final hole of the round. Perfect. And Ricky Wysocki looking to complete the round as quickly as possible. Not quite the eagle throw in, but definitely a birdie to finish off. And we're going to see Ricky Wysocki, of course, tomorrow here on the leader card. If James Conrad can come in with a birdie here on the final hole, he will also maintain leader card position. No correction. This just in. Greg Barsby is officially in. Greg Barsby is at 19 under par. If James Conrad birdies this, which he will, that would push him to 19 under par. However, Barsby, I believe, had the hotter round, and that is correct. So Greg Barsby will be moving on to the leader card. So tomorrow you're going to see Jeremy Colling, Ricky Wysocki, Simon Lizotte, and Greg Barsby on your lead card. And Dave Felberg just getting over the water's edge when we moved off of hole 17. Help me out here, I'm dying. So Dave, just one more hole, buddy, one more hole. And Felberg puts himself within 10 feet of the pin. Big Germ has gone deep of this basket. When's the last time you saw that kind of shot?
Off the tee? Never.
Big Germ could finish strong with an eagle, too, here. Yesterday we saw Eagle McMahon let his leader card chances slip by as he finished with a birdie instead of the eagle that he was lined up for. Jeremy Colling sitting at 21 under par. In and out, a heartbreaker. He's going to have to settle for birdie. He'll move to 22 under and maintain the lead going into the final round. James Conrad with a solid performance today, finishing at 8 under par. That moves him to 19 under. He's going to be sitting in a tie for 5th place. Wysocki will tap in, as will Big Germ. And there you have it. That is our second round. We are complete. Just letting that one slip by as he rounds out the day. He'll move into the final, and we'll catch back up with him then. Cameron, it's been a very exciting day out here. I'd first like to thank Madison Walker along with Paige Pierce for joining us, stepping in, relieving you for just a few moments. But thank you very much for joining us today and yesterday. This is a course that you see all the time. You've put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this course. What has it been like having the top players in the world all out here competing this week?
Oh, it's great. I come out here and I know what's possible to be done, and it's really amazing to come out here and see the people that can do it. So watching Eagle and Simon drive this hole with fairway drivers, it's really impressive. Watching the long lines in the woods or the really cool long turning shots that will hyzer flip out and still come back at the end on a long tight line, it's really impressive. So I love it. Thank y'all.
Well, I'm going to check in with you, Disc, who's been so crucial to the success here at Disc Golf. The Disc Golf Pro Tour, and we're officially seeing that Jeremy Colling has moved into 22 under par. Once the scores come in for that, it looks like Jeremy will move into 22 under par. Simon Lizotte sitting at 20 under par, Wysocki at 21 under par, and Greg Barsby at 19 under par. So I think we're going to see those 4 gentlemen tomorrow. Has there been any surprises, whether it's on the leader card or anything else out here that you've seen in the last 2 days?
That one shot by Ricky on hole 18 off the tee, that very much surprised me. I did not expect that at all. And then I think we saw Feldberg throw a flick shot earlier too. Also very surprising. But other than that, no, everything's been just about right, I'd say. This is a really difficult course and it's hard to score on it. So everything's pretty tight at the top, and I'd say that's to be expected.
Well, and on the women's side, again, Paige Pierce sitting with a 3-stroke lead right now. Sarah Hokum at 4 under par, and then a little bit of distance between second and third, Melody Weibel and Stephanie Vincent, along with Lisa Ficus, all at 8 over par. So right now, it looks to be a Pierce and Sarah Hokum tomorrow, again at 7 and 4 under par respectively. So for Cameron Frymark and myself, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, along with our crew, Johnny V and Gary to the O back in the studios, Chad Inman and Rick Hushain on the cameras. It's been a great day out here. We hope that you've enjoyed the Beast course in Waco. We hope to see you later tonight at one of the festivities, and if not, we'll see you tomorrow when you take in the 3rd and final round. We'll see you then when you step inside the Smash Box.
it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.